are back. We are back. So drop your questions in the comments. I'm pulling you guys up here on the side, and you guys can feel free to ask questions about anything that's on your heart. This can be, you know, encouragement. It can be about budgeting. I am here for you to answer any of your questions. I've been getting a lot of DMs and a lot of questions just in my comment section. So I just want to create some space and some time to be able to answer those for you. So let us see. I am gonna try to go into the background to grab some of your other. Hi Soleil, love your name. That's really, really beautiful. It's great to see you too, Georgie. It is really, really great to be here. I am really, really grateful. And I know that the sun isn't coming in like great for you guys to see me right now, but I'm really, really grateful for this community and the way that I get to run my company, because it really enables me to really stay connected and to continue to serve people at a very, very high level despite what we are, the global pause that we are experiencing right now. So I'm super, super grateful for that. So I would love to know what questions you guys that you have, what you guys are experiencing right now, if anything. Ernest Rashia, I think that's what it was. I just did the Budget with Me live. So this is the Q&A portion of the Budget with Me live. Guyana said, must say thank you for your content that has changed my life in so many ways. You are so very welcome. Thank you for being a part of this community. You have changed my life in so many ways. You just have no idea. I think that that's why it is really important to show up and do your work, because you don't understand how many people you are impacting by just showing up and doing your work. And sometimes you will show up and you will do work that is for other people, and then sometimes you'll show up and do work that's for you. So me showing up here was me doing work that's for me. Like, I needed this community, I needed this accountability, but me showing up and doing my work on myself has served so many people. I mean, it's mind-blowing to think that you can have this sort of an impact internationally, simply because you showed up to do your work consistently, no matter how challenging it was. So loved you in the latest gratitude video you did. You looked amazing. Was the blouse one of your new ones? Oh, yes, that is a new blouse. That black blouse, yes, it is a new top. Somebody thought it was a dress, but it's a new, it's like a new, like, sort of meshy sheer turtlenecky situation. It's really pretty. It's like one of my new favorite tops, actually. And my stylist is amazing, so, you know, getting good prices. I wonder if I turn this light off, if it'll be better lighting for you guys. Nope, turns out no. Because I have the light behind me, you guys can't necessarily see my face very well, and I'm also wearing brown, but we'll get through it. I have my laptop over here, so I'm looking through. Peter said Wakanda forever. Absolutely, I love it. Hello, this is Tina from Canada. I'm glad to see you here, as I was a little bit worried about you. I hope you're doing well and okay. Yes, I am doing amazing. I am doing, like, and I mean that across the board. I am doing amazing in my company. I'm doing amazing personally. I actually have a video coming up where I'm going to be giving you guys a big life, work, wellness update. It'll probably be the next video that you guys see. I'm actually doing really, really well. So yeah, I would say that the reason that I'm doing really, really well is because I have an amazing therapist. Okay, I know I talk about therapy. You guys know that I have a partnership with BetterHelp, but has been nothing that has prepared me more for such a time as this than therapy. You guys know I have a strong faith, and my spiritual faith foundation is amazing, but it is not my faith that is getting me through this worldwide global pause. It is my mental and emotional and psychological stability. I am so grounded mentally, emotionally, and psychologically that we could be experiencing a worldwide global pause, and I have the wherewithal to be able to navigate it without anxiety, without stress, without overwhelm, without depression. That is not about spiritual faith. That is psychological, mental, and emotional stability as it relates to doing the work with my therapist. I am very, very clear on what my personal triggers are in terms of PTSD and different things like that. And as I mentioned, you know, when we got the first stay at home order, I wasn't at home, but I was not at home by choice. I was already planning to be somewhere else. And then we happened to get the stay at home order. And I was just like, oh, and then we just decided that I was just going to stay there. But even for me to be able to have that kind of a response, you guys know home and gotta leave, like stuff like that is a really sensitive thing for me typically. But because I've been working consistently with a therapist on my stuff, I am managing and handling this very, 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 very well. I also think, you know, I'm an entrepreneur, so my lifestyle has not changed dramatically as a result of this stay-at-home order and different things like that. But yes, I'm doing exceptionally well. And then also, you know, even with the physical, with my personal trainer and stuff like that, it helps. It helps when you're healthy. It really, really does. And then professionally, my entrepreneurial income is diversified. So if one revenue stream shuts down, that doesn't mean that I am shut down, which is really, really powerful and beautiful. So I'm doing very, very well. Yeah, I'm doing very, very well. The only thing that's sort of, you know, tugging at my heartstrings is the shifts that we're gonna have to make as a family for my son, because he won't get some of his rites of passages as a senior. And you guys know I've been crying about this for a while now. So there was a lot of build up to this experience, and now it's not here. And so just adjusting to that is, you know, gonna be interesting. But other than that, I'm doing really, really well. Peter said, good point on doing your work. Absolutely. Like you have to do your work. Like there's no way for me to know that this was going to happen. But imagine if I was like inconsistent in the way that I showed up doing this, and then I just tried to pop on and be like, yeah, guys, this is what I'm doing. I wouldn't be able to serve as many people. I wouldn't even be able to serve myself. Like, me consistently doing a budget for 27 months is the reason why I'm like, oh, people are like, how are you responding to it? I'm like, I'm going to do a budget. Like, that is the point of a budget. And the reason why, so a lot of people are of this mind that you can just do a budget at the beginning of the year and then you just try to stick to it and you don't have to do it every month. No, you have to do it every month, because every single month is different. It just so happens to be that this month we have a worldwide global pause. But even if this wasn't here, there are nuances in every single month that you get to acknowledge by sitting down for 15 minutes to an hour or maybe 90 minutes to think through what your money is doing. That is how I'm responding to this global pause, is I'm doing my budget and I'm honoring the skill set of budgeting in such a way that I have psychologically and actually given myself $195.90 to spend however I want to spend. I am intentionally saying I am going to spend more money on groceries. I'm intentionally saying I'm only going to pay my minimums during my student. All of that is me having personal power over my finances in a time where people feel like they have zero like control or management over what's going on. I'm just exercising my personal power, and that is because I'm doing a budget every single month before the month begins. And with us being in crisis, that habit, that skill just automatically goes into action. It's like, oh, this is where we need the habit. This is where it needs to be a habit. It doesn't need to be something that I'm learning. It needs to be a habit. Although I will say this, if you are right now experiencing an overwhelming amount of stress around your finances, there is no better time to start budgeting than right now. This will not be the only crisis that we experience in our lifetime. That's not how life works. It's not how life works. I just went through a personal crisis, in 2017, and it is 2020. So within a 3-year period, just me as one individual person, I'm already experiencing 2 crises inside of a 3-year period. As human beings, we need to understand that crises are not personal and they're not anything that anyone can avoid. At best, you can prepare for them. And I think an incredible way to prepare for them is through some phenomenal money management. And I think the best way to shore up your money management is to do a budget before the month begins. So yeah. Yep. Let's see. So yes, very, very much okay. And for therapy, we just switched over to teletherapy sessions. So Like when I come off here, I'll just pop over to my desktop and my therapist and I will chat, and I'll be like, blah, 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 therapist. But yeah, between my therapist and my friends and the way that I structure my company, and my physical health in general, I'm doing very, very well. Starry Walker said, "Do you have any advice or book recommendations for people who have a hard time showing up for themselves?" Ooh, my number one book recommendation for that would be The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F. And the reason why is because a lot of times when we don't show up for ourselves is because we care too much about something. Whether we care too much about what people think, we care too much about what will happen if we do it. I think that the subtle art gives you a framework to just get some distance around caring so much. There are only so many F's in your life that you are going to be able to give. And if you are not, if you have a hard time showing up for yourself, like you make a commitment to yourself that you're going to do something and then you don't do it, it's probably just because you are exhausting yourself by giving too many F's to other people and too much time and energy to other people, that by the time you come back to you, there's literally just nothing left. And you're thinking that it's a motivation or a discipline issue, but really you're just actually truly tired. So I would start with The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. Another book, I really love Louise L. Hay's You Can Heal Your Life. I think the reason for that book recommendation is because, again, sometimes when we don't show up for ourselves, we don't understand that we're wounded. So one of the ways that I wouldn't show up for myself is that I would put, to the end of me sacrificing my mental and emotional health, I would put other people, and not all people, but my family, I would put them before me. And so I wouldn't be able to show up for myself because I would get to the point where I was too sick to do my work, right? I didn't realize that that was attached to some trauma that needed to be healed. And I'm not necessarily saying that the book You Can Heal Your Life will heal that trauma, but it will be an amazing place to start examining if there is something in your history that is motivating you or preventing you from being able to show up for yourself right now. So You Can Heal Your Life by Louise L. Hay. Another book, Excuses Be Gone by Dr. Wayne Dyer. Dr. Wayne Dyer is one of my all-time favorite favorite authors in all the land. I love Dr. Wayne Dyer. And his book, Excuses Be Gone, really, 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 really helps you to stop making excuses for not being all that you want to be and all that you're called to be. He's great. Like, he literally was mentored by Abraham Maslow. Like, that seems like such an odd thing to be like, this person was like mentored by Abraham Maslow, but he totally, like, Abraham Maslow was his mentor. And you can totally see that in some of his work. But Excuses Be Gone by Dr. Wayne Dyer would be a good one. And then, yeah, those would probably be my top three. Great question. Kathleen Pickering said, "I have watched you for a long time, and Dave," oops, hold on, it moved. And Dave Ramsey, "I followed you for 1.5 years. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel." Yes, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel too. I am very excited. Even, and I had mentioned this, like, if my salary remains at $5,000 a month for the remainder of the year, I will earn $60,000 this year, which, based on the amount of debt that I have left, I obviously wouldn't be paying off all of my debt this year, but that doesn't rest in me as a failure or a potential failure or as a problem or anything. I'm like, yo, I made $60,000 this depending, you know, anything can shift, but it'll be like, based off me building and running my own company, I was able to pay myself $60,000, and of that $60,000, I would at least think half of it, or at least 40% is sort of my average right now. Half of that is going towards debt. Like, that's still a phenomenal, mind-blowing sort of a thing to be able to do. So it's definitely light at the end of the tunnel, because I'm finding more stability and consistency with my income and ultimately with my monthly payments. So, yep. Deb T.S. said, "Is it also that special person that you spoke of in your other videos? Is it the same special person that you had last year? Can you tell me to mind my business? Laugh out loud. You look super happy." Yeah, I think that I'm not going to tell you to mind your business, but are you saying, is it also me feeling good because of that? I think, no, I think that I just feel good in general because, like, I am just in a really, really great place. Like, mentally, emotionally, physically and psychologically. I think that that's probably having the biggest impact. I think anytime you have a special person, like obviously that has an impact, but I think that, you know, there was a time period where this person was like more involved in my life than they are now, and I wasn't amazing. I wasn't good. You know what I mean? So I would say more so it's leaning towards the mental and emotional, physical and psychological health and well-being as opposed to that. So yeah, but great question. D7 said, why do you pay child support for your daughter? I don't pay child support for my daughter. I pay child support for my son. It's a choice that I made. I feel like as the non-custodial parent, I am still financially responsible. I feel like all parents are financially responsible for their children. But I feel like as the non-custodial parent, my financial responsibility, the label for that financial responsibility is child support. And I think child support has such a negative connotation to it, and it shouldn't have a negative connotation. It should just be descriptive of this is support for the child, right? So it's just a choice that I made to continue to choose to show up and honor my financial responsibility by distinguishing a specific amount for my child in addition to the other things that I do for him financially because he's the human being that I created. But yeah, my son lives with his father full time, so that's a part of it. Dorinda Nicole, I miss you. How are you? How are you? I actually literally I'm like, wish I could like see your face or something. I totally miss you. I'm glad that you caught me live as well. Glad that you caught me live as well. Oh. Trying to see. Mimi Loves Peace said, you are such a light. I started FPU and look forward to all your vids. Yes, FPU was life-changing for me. It's changed everything. It is, I think also like, yes, it was life-changing. I was going to say, I think that there really is a level of security that you have when your finances are in order, that, you know, lifts everything up, just makes everything, you know, better. So, Starry Walker, thanks, Stacey. I've been leaning on your videos for a while. You've been my guide, mentor while trying to get my life together. Yay! Soleil said, can you repeat the second book you recommended? Yes, Louise L. Hayes, You Can Heal Your Life. Peter Schramm said, are you single? Yes, I am single. I get that question a lot. I've been getting that question more in the last 60 days than I've ever gotten in my entire life. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why so many people are curious about my relationship status. I don't know if there's something, I don't know if like I'm like emanating some sort of vibe or something like that, but it's interesting because I feel like people ask me, but it's just been a very concentrated amount of people, or not concentrated, it's been a lot in a concentrated period of time that have been asking me that. So I would love to know, Peter, if you care sharing what made you want to ask, just because I've been getting asked a lot and I'm trying to figure out like, I mean, what's going on? You know, are these, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Kelly Hudson said, I just finished the self-doubt detox and what resonated with me was that I am here on purpose and for a purpose. It truly made a difference in my daily life. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm glad that is wonderful. Arisha said, because you seem healthy and happy and dateable. That's a thing. Okay. That's probably what, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I think that the healthier you are, obviously, the more dateable you are. So, okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. Peter said, I wanted to know if you were available or taking. Oh, okay. So just generally wanted to know. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Brenda Goldsmith said, just paid off a huge Visa card. I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you as well, Brenda. That is amazing. That is incredible. All debt payoff is a celebration, so make sure you go to your celebration box and celebrate that. We have to celebrate the debts that we pay off. Peter said, curious minds like mine want to know. Okay. Andrea Price said, have you checked in with your 2020 financial goals? I only have one, which is to repay all of my debt. Like, I don't have any specific like goals. And when I do my life update, I'll explain that a little bit more. But I only have the one just to repay all of my debt. So, so far I'm on course to do that because I am consistently making a payment. Originally this month, I wanted to bring my income to 10K so that way I could put about 4 to 5K on my debt so that I can really start to see that number moving. But because of the global pause, I'm just, going to keep my income lower to make sure that I'm covered throughout the remaining 9 months. Risha said, I seem to recall you mentioned that you were going to do a 2020 vision board, but I don't remember seeing the video. Yes, I chose not to do it, and literally when the next video comes out, it explains why I didn't do my 2020 vision board. Elizabeth Sims says she paid off her car last month on her 30th birthday. Yes, we are here for that, Elizabeth. Like, that is so awesome. Like, doesn't it just feel great when you have like income, like, or not income, but when you pay something off and then that money comes back into your budget or back into your disposable income and you're like, oh, that's where all my money was going. And now this car, like, you own it, it's yours. Like, couldn't imagine. So between Brenda and Elizabeth, I know you guys are feeling amazing. Brenda Goldsmith said, how long will it take for me to see my credit score improve? It depends. I'm not really somebody who does credit stuff. Of what I understand about credit is that it is your debt to income ratio. So depending on the balance of your credit card, depending on how many payments you use to pay it off, and depending on what your income is and what your other debts are, that is what will all be factored in terms of you being able to see an impact on your credit score. Angela said, I've been watching you off and on over a year. I didn't know you had a daughter. Yes, I have a daughter. Yes. The Life of Co, I think is what that is. Are you thinking of saving more in your emergency fund at this time? Not at this time. I'm going to stick with my $1,000 emergency fund. I'm going to reallocate additional debt payments to a separate sort of, it's not really a sinking fund yet because I haven't put any money towards it, but potentially that could function as a sinking fund where I'm just reallocating it for psychological, emotional, mental well-being for me and my son. So yes. Yes. Dominant Man said, hello, how are you? You're a very beautiful woman. Hi, Dominant Man. I am well, thank you. I'm doing very, very well, and thank you for the compliment. Angela Stinson said, you seem to be much happier this year. Oh yeah, oh man, listen, it's light years away from last year. First of all, at the end of last year, like, out of nowhere, like, all this grief showed up, and I think, you know what, guys, this is what I think it is. I think that last year was an awesome year, but I got hit with that grief at the end of the year, and initially I was just gonna be like, whatever, I'm not having these feelings, I'm not going through this, yeah. But then I decided to let myself feel all of my feelings, and because I let myself feel all of my feelings, I grieved properly, and because I grieved properly, I am not burdened by that loss or by that experience. And so it's like when we don't process stuff that happens in our life, it shows up on our face, it shows up in our attitude, it shows up in our like agility, our ability to be able to move around and stuff like that. And like, that was hard. Like, that was like, I was like hurting. I remember being at an event and I was in so much pain, like, and it just so happened that at this event, like, these are just like some of the most generous people on the planet, and they like give gifts for everything. They're like, oh my God, you're breathing, here's a gift. They're like, oh, you blinked 3 times, here's a gift. And so at this event, I'm sitting at the table and I'm just being showered with gifts. Not me, but like everybody is, but like I'm also being showered with gifts. And I was so tender around all of this grief and everything that was happening that I kid you not, every time somebody gave me a gift, I just broke down and started crying because I was like, I'm so tender, like I don't know. But I think what happened is I let myself have those feelings. Like, I did not push them away. I didn't shame myself. I didn't rush myself. None of that. I was like, no, this is how you feel. And I don't care who knows it, what people think about it. I'm just going to feel this way. And I think when you allow yourself to process what's really going on in your life, it doesn't get stuck in you. And because that stuff is not stuck in me, I'm able to come and, not come, but like I'm restored back to my former self. Like I can only imagine the type of woman I would be if I did not grieve that experience. Like I would be bitter, highest level of passivity all the time. And I mean, you guys can probably see that in my videos with me having just like irritation and, you're just irritable. You don't know why you're irritable. Well, maybe you're irritable because you lost something and you haven't grieved it. Like grief is a whole emotion that is designed to help you mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and physically. And if you don't let yourself grieve stuff that's important to you, it will show up. So yes, it's probably why I'm all like, little light bright, because I have my feelings and I honor them. So yeah, yep. Now that you mention it, hold on, let's see. Marilyn Rosa said, I love what you wore to Rise Toronto. You look stunning. Do you mind sharing where did you get that jumpsuit from? So it was actually two different pieces. Yes, the pants were from Sarah Jakes Roberts' Woman Evolve shop. And I promise, guys, I'm going to do better with like tagging and saying where my clothes are from. But yeah, the pants, which created that overall sort of thing, it was just pants. Those are from Sarah Jakes Roberts' Woman Evolve shop. And then the top, that green sort of with the arms, with the hands, where did I get that? I'm pretty sure I got it from Akira. Most of all my fun tops are from Akira. So I got it from Akira, which I think their online store is called Chicago Akira or Shop Akira. But yeah, so it was two separate pieces, but yes, absolutely. And don't let me lie, because I was gonna say, oh, I'll put it in the description box. That's not true. So yes, Woman Evolve is where I got the pants, and the top came from Akira. And thank you. I really liked it too. My mom totally styles me. So as far as styling, because I have been getting a lot of questions about like my clothes and stuff like that. So my mom styles me for the stage. And literally what happens is I tell my mom what speaking engagement I have coming up, and I'm like, okay, mom, I'm gonna be speaking here, and this is the audience, and this is how many people, and this is the date. And my mom literally gets a vision in her mind about what I should wear on the stage. And so I told you guys for the last one, she was just like, do you have any bell bottoms in your, and I was like, no, mom, why would anybody just have random bell bottoms? But that's what she saw me in. And so then while I'm here, I make it a point to just go find the pieces that she says that she sees me in when she sees me on the stage. So the same thing for Rise Toronto. She was just like, oh, it's Toronto. Okay. You know what you need. And I was just like, I don't know what I thought she was going to say. And she was just like, do you think you could do some overalls or like a jump? I was like, overalls though? Do adults wear those? I don't know if we do that. And my mom was like, if you can find, just because what she wanted, she was just like, you just need like a really wide leg pant, but I want it to be high waisted, almost like overalls. I was like, let me see if I can find these overalls. And I wish I should do a video where I show you guys like all of the pants. Well, I've already sent them back, but I ordered so many different types of pants trying to find these overalls. And I was super excited to be able to find them at Sarah Jakes Roberts shop, because I do like to shop like small businesses and stuff like that, because I think it just makes things more interesting and fun. But I just love that, like, when I tell her I have a speaking engagement, she's just like, oh, this is what you need. So like, y'all thought Rise Fort Myers and Rise Toronto was cute. Wait till Rise San Diego. Rise San Diego is a round stage. So what that means is like, I won't have a back, if that makes sense. So normally it's like theater style when I'm speaking and I'm speaking out to an audience. San Diego, it's 360 degrees. So I was like, listen, mom, it's gonna be 10,000 people, 360 degrees stage. I need you to make something happen. She was just like, oh, Stacey. And she gave me like the color that she wants me to wear. And I was like, what? Is it what I'm wearing? like I haven't found the pieces yet because, you know, all this stuff is going on, but I am super pumped about that. And then I have another speaking engagement in Vegas at MGM Grand. It's going to be 15,000 people. And I was like, Mom, this is Vegas. This is 15,000 people. Like, and I don't know how that, I mean, I guess I could look up the stage to see how that stage is structured, but I'm like, you know, this is the audience, this is the organization. And she's just like, okay, Stacey, you're going to Vegas. You do understand that you're going to need to do. And I'm like, if Mom, if you think I can pull that off, let's do it. Mom, let's go. So I say all that that was a bit of a rant. Obviously, I'm pretty excited about my mom being my stylist. So my mom totally styles me for the stage. But I have 2 stylists here in Chicago who like style me for my regular, like everyday sort of wears. And between the 2 and my mom, we all kind of work together to flesh out and develop my style. Not that I think anybody asked that question. I think I just really was excited about these upcoming stages. And I mean, my mom does for my smaller speaking engagements too, where it's like 200 people or something like that. But it's just really fascinating to see her get stoked about like the audiences that are over like 3,000 people, because she's just like, oh, you need this and you need to try this. And I'm like, can we do that? And she was like, Stacey, you could do whatever you want to do. They booked you to speak. And I'm like, okay, Mom, yes, let's make this happen. So it's super fun, super awesome. So Risha said, wait, what daughter? Yes, I have a daughter from a previous relationship. And I think that I just never, I have a few children from a previous relationship, but I think I don't speak freely about the people in my life because people get really weird. When like people just get really weird. People just get really weird. And I think that what I told myself is I don't speak freely because I want to protect them. But truthfully, I didn't speak freely about it because I was just afraid of the weirdness of some people. But I'm over that now. I don't have the energy to be not acknowledging people in my life, especially in the roles that they have in my life. I don't have the energy to be like, because I don't want this person to get on my nerves or irritate me, I'm just gonna not acknowledge this person by their actual role in my life. No, it's not gonna happen. And I've been weird like that for most of my life. I can't say if I got weird because I really went through a crazy situation with the like full-blown real stalker, or if I've always been like that. I think it's about half and half, but having a real life stalker like really shuts you down to like saying who's in your life and giving people like titles and labels and things like that. But I'm just over it. I'm over it. Like, this is who she is to me. This is the way that that's how I describe her to her face and to everybody else. So I'm going to speak of her publicly in that way as well. So yeah, love her to pieces. Neek Dillard, I'm about to finish my grad program next month and my student loans will start up in July. Have about 120K in student loans. That is my only form of debt. I'm new to this. Where do I start? That is amazing that that is your only form of debt. What's going to happen is you're going to graduate next month, and actually you're going to have a 6-month grace period before you start your student loans. So during that 6-month grace, or depending, most student loans give 6 months, private and federal. The first thing that you should do, take that 6 months and why did I lose my train of thought? Oh, create your emergency fund. I'm a student of Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University, so that's $1,000. If you have a different budgeting philosophy, that's fine. A lot of people do the traditional emergency funds of 3 to 6 months, but I would take those first 6 months post-graduation and put together a proper emergency fund. I would also take those first 6 months to practice budgeting, so that way, when you gotta send $1,200 to your student loan people, you're not writing into them, asking them for a forbearance, a deferment, or a graduated payment. You will take this 6 months to prepare yourself psychologically to send a $1,200 payment. Okay, you said because you're part-time, your grace period started in January. Okay, so what I would do, I know the payments are gonna start in July. Do you have your emergency fund together yet? Since you're kind of like answering specifically. If you don't have your emergency fund together, the first place to start is with your emergency fund. After you do your emergency fund, pay the minimum. Okay, awesome. Pay the minimum. Don't call them and try to adjust anything. Pay the minimum. And then maybe for the first 6 months, just so you can psychologically prepare yourself to be spending that much money, because it'll probably be about $1,200 a month or so for how much you have, depending if it's private or public. Pay your minimum student loan payment, and then consciously make an effort to figure out what you can do in your budget so you can double, so you can quarter increase, 50% increase, 75% increase, 100% increase, to double the payments that you're putting on there. Because the big thing with student loans is, because our loan amount is so large, it's the interest that kills us. I pay $1,650 a month, and $800 of that goes to interest every single month, which is ridiculous. So it's basically like I'm only paying $800. So it's like I'm throwing $800 at $160,000 a month. It's going to take me a long time until I can get in front of that interest. So in the beginning, it's about getting into the habit of paying your minimum, and then adding a quarter extra payment, a 50% extra payment, a 75% extra payment, 100% extra payment, and making sure that you have an emergency fund. But just don't trick yourself into thinking, oh, when I make more money, I'll start paying my student loans. No, nobody does that. And then their student loans just grows and grows and grows. Just prepare yourself now as if you were making a rent payment. I am going to make this payment no matter what. Great question. Dorinda Nicole said they sliding through shooting they shot today, ain't they? They are. I'm telling you, like, I'm like, what is this? Is this like quarantine interest? Like, what's happening? Like, no, apparently not. Let's see. Andrea Price said need start with the smallest loan while paying the minimum of the others. Oh, and also, yes, I'm sorry. I assumed that it was one type of student loans, but she's right. Start with your smallest loan. If I could do it all over again, I wouldn't have consolidated. I know that sounds crazy, but I wouldn't have, because I would have wanted those small wins of paying off $2,000, paying off $3,000. So yes, start with your smallest loan first, and pay that off when you're paying your extra loan payments and stuff like that, and allow that to keep rolling over into your debt snowball. Yes, yes, yes. Elizabeth said, your grief. Hold on, I just lost it. She said, your grief video has been immensely helpful. They have definitely helped me get over my own heartbreak. Thank you for your vulnerability. Yeah, you are very welcome. Those are the hardest videos for me. Like, you don't know how many times I wanted to take those videos down, but so many people have emailed me, and because I mean, I'm like, oh, I was just really just, because you don't, like, when I'm showing up to do the video, I don't know I'm going to have that type of a breakdown in the video. And man, I was like, yo, I was hurt. Like, I don't know. Yeah, like when I look at it, I'm like, you were really hurting. Like I can see it. Like, it was just, oh yeah. So I'm super happy that those are helpful to you. It's funny because my baby sister, she watches all my videos and stuff like that. And so she called me the other day, and she was just like, this grief video, I'm a few minutes in, and I just want to know if I should keep watching. And I was like, absolutely not. And she was just like, okay. I was like, she was like, because it's gonna be bad. I said, oh yeah, don't watch this. So I was like, you could barely handle the other. No, don't keep watching it. She was just like, okay, thanks. Dominant Man said, tell me what must buy emergency at this time. I don't think that anything, no, let me not say that. For me, an emergency at this time would be something that I need that is above my budget. So like, let's just say my phone broke during this time. That would be an emergency for me. I would immediately get my phone fixed, because at this time, this is my only form of communication with my son, and my only tool to be able to communicate with my son and the rest of my family. So even though technically a phone is not like a, you know, I wouldn't have to get the latest, greatest, whatever, I would probably like get an iPhone replacement at this level so that I can continue to FaceTime and stuff like that, because it's literally my form of communication with other people. Trying to think, let's just say for some reason, these groceries that I send to my son, he eats all those, and he eats past the $195 that I've allocated, and they still need more food for this month. That would be an emergency, and I would go into my emergency fund and send more food to him. I'm not expecting any sort of downturn in my finances from my business this coming quarter, but let's just say for some reason what I had projected doesn't come in, and I'm not able to pay myself at the full rate and one of my necessities isn't able to be paid, like my rent or something, that would be an emergency and I would go into my emergency fund to cover it. I actually think I've only gone into my emergency fund the one time to replace my phone when it broke unexpectedly. So what you will find is once you have an emergency fund, you don't have as many emergencies, which is the most fascinating thing. Dorinda Nicole, super random, but what shows have you been watching? Been on the hunt for new ones. Billions is my show. I love Billions. I have watched the whole series up to the 4th season, and now I'm going back just to catch all the things. Yeah, is this my second time? So, okay, so I watched Billions and I watched it fairly slowly the first time because it's so intense, it's so good. It's like, you guys know I love therapy, so the way that Wendy like breaks people down and they just put like, ooh, like man, I mean, come through Billions. So when I watched it the first time, I watched it slow anyway, but now I'm watching it like maybe 1 episode a week and then like analyzing it, and then like me and my son's dad are like, yeah, did you see this? And did you see, like, it's unfreaking believable. Like Billions is probably the #1 show that I've been watching. I haven't, and to be honest, I haven't really been watching a lot of TV shows. I've been doing a lot more reading, and I can do maybe a video on like some really great novels to read right now. The only reason why I haven't been digesting a lot of TV shows is because I know that that can turn into like a what's it called, like a black hole, and I don't want to develop the habit of getting into TV because I still need to like do my work. And I find that when I'm reading, I'm less likely to like fall into the like season 2, you know, it's like no. And then so yeah, Billions, and then the latest thing that I watched, like at the house with the girls, like I watched the Twilight Saga. I love it. We watched the Twilight Saga and the behind the scenes like all day. It was the most beautiful day ever. Like I had a blast. And probably what we'll end up watching this coming weekend is Harry Potter. Oh, I'm so excited about it. But I'm more so, I don't watch a lot of TV anyway, but if I did watch a lot of TV, it would be super duper fantasy level TV. And the reason for that is because I would want to escape what's going on. So another fantasy show that I watched at a different time was The Umbrella Academy. I really like that. I'm trying to think of other fantasy shows, but it's anything to do with some alternate universe world because I just don't want anything too serious. I like it to be deep, but I don't want it to be serious. And so I'm not like the type of person to watch like when The Wire was super popular, people were like, oh, why are you not watching this? I was like, cause I'm living it. Why would I watch what I'm living? No, this is basically my cousins. No, I'm not watching I don't know why I just got crunk there. Let me calm down. But yeah, so like people will be like, oh, you don't know Stringer Bell? Yeah, I know. I know a real life Stringer Bell. I don't have, why would I watch that on TV? That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. But so stuff like that, that's like real, I don't have a very high tolerance for it because it's just like watching my cousins on TV, and I'm just like, I cannot, I will not do any of this. So I try to escape into stuff that is more fantasy, like during when I'm watching TV, but also especially during times like this. Let's see. Andrea Price said, we have to feel and allow grief to take its form. When we push it away or distract ourselves, it shows back up in unhealthy forms. Yeah, it does. Like sometimes some people are overweight right now because they haven't processed their grief. Like some people have an extra 20 to 30 pounds, not because they're not eating right, not because they're not going to the gym, not because they literally haven't grieved. And until you grieve, the weight won't go anywhere. You could follow every diet plan. You could go to a nutritionist. It won't change a thing because the weight isn't there because of unhealthy habits. The weight is there because it is the physical manifestation of a psychological, mental, and emotional condition that you're experiencing right now. Like grief shows up in self-sabotage. Grief shows up in my favorite quote, and this is going to be in my New York Times bestseller. Will Smith, he talked about how you cannot out-achieve your trauma. And oftentimes where there was a situation where we needed to grieve, there was also a traumatic experience that happened. And so many people become overachievers, workaholics, all this stuff because they're trying to out-achieve their trauma, ultimately meaning that they're trying to distract themselves from their grief. And until they grieve, they won't even be able to take in all of the accolades that they've been able to achieve inside of the window that they're doing. Grief is one of the most potent, powerful, necessary emotions. It is literally the way that we human beings say goodbye. Emphasis on good. Yes, it's very important. Diana Robinson, nosy question, how are you making money in this craziness? So I talked about it. I have 3 streams of income. So my speaking revenue is, I'm not getting new speaking engagements, but people who have booked me to speak, in order to book me to speak, you have to pay a 50% deposit. So most of my income from the speaking side is me solidifying those contracts and people sending me my 50% deposit in order to get onto my calendar as a permanent date. I also make money through influencing. So my YouTube videos, my manuals, my affiliate links, all of that is different. Those are different ways that money is coming in. So people are viewing more stuff online. So I'm making more money because I have so many videos online. In the same way that people have more time. And so because people have more time, more people are actually able to digest my manuals and then share them with their friends. And then I also put my manuals on sale. Just because I understand we have more time, but I understand that just because we have more time doesn't necessarily mean we have money, but mindset is everything. And I want you to improve your money mindset. I want you to improve your business mindset. I want you to improve your self-mastery mindset. And the 21 questions are just as helpful at the end of the year as they are right now. So I put all of that on sale to make it a lot easier for people to be able to invest in themselves during this time. Because I think each manual has over 10 hours worth of video content for you to watch that is exclusive to the topic. So money is coming in through that. And then I'm trying to think. I think that those are the main ways. So most of the money that is still coming in is coming in from the influencing side, but I do still get some money from the speaking side in terms of those deposits. And then I'm not making any coaching money right now because I'm just revamping my coaching program. But yeah, not a nosy question. I understand that. But I think that that's also why it's important as an entrepreneur when you're creating a business to have multiple streams of income, not just because that's what everybody tells you to do, but because your job as an entrepreneur is to be able to manage risk. There's risk in speaking, right? I have to be physically healthy in order to be able to do my speaking engagement. It would be unwise of me as a speaker to have my only source of income be me speaking on the stage. That would be unwise because the amount of chance of me just getting sick just as a regular human being, or something coming up with my son and me needing to cancel an engagement, or me missing a flight, the amount of circumstances that can come in that would make it so that I don't make it to the speaking engagement are way too probable for me to say my only source of income is going to be the revenue that I make when I show up and I'm on stage. There's no wisdom in that. So it's about understanding how to build a proper business and then the income streams around that particular business, which when I do my 2K for 2K speaker training is something that I'm going to talk about. And I'm going to help people to understand speaking is not just about the talent. I'm fortunate because I have a talent for speaking, but I am successful because I built a business around speaking. So yes. Peter said you could speak on Zoom. I could speak on Zoom, but I am amazing in person. And I think that when we come out of this crisis, there's going to be an uptick on people wanting to have in-person speaking, there's going to be an uptick in us engaging with humanity, shoulder to shoulder. And I prefer to continue to hone my gift during this time rather than to use my gift over the online space, to hone my gift during this time so I can be better prepared for that time, because I am phenomenal in person and I prefer to be in person versus being online. Because a lot of people, I would say maybe 3 to 5 companies have reached out to me to do online sort of conferences, and at this time me and my assistant are declining. So Marilyn Rosa said, your mom did that. You look great. Thank you so much. I loved it. Loved it. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with those clothes, because my mom is like, yeah, you can't wear that again. I was like, what? These are my clothes. Mom, I will wear this again. I love this outfit. What are you talking about? She was just like, okay, well, I just think you need to donate it. I said, you think I need to what? These are cute clothes. Mom, I can't ever wear them again in my life. And she was just like, but I mean, where would you wear it to? I was like, I don't know. To the park. I don't know. But you want me to just, Mom, Yeah. Even like, so the picture that I have right now is like my avatar for this and my avatar on Instagram and everywhere. Like, I love that outfit. And my mom, and I was like, oh, can I wear this to San Diego? My mom was like, no. I was like, are you sure? Because, you know, I think it's a cute outfit. She was just like, it's a perfect outfit, but you're not about to repeat that outfit. You already wore that. And I'm like, Mom, but I really, I don't buy clothes to wear once. I am not there. That is not where. I said, Mom, I am not there. That is not where I'm at right now. So she's just like, I mean, you can keep it in your closet, but I don't see you wearing that again. It's just, it's such a statement, and you've made the statement, and now you just need to move on. And I'm like, I said, Mom, you said you're gonna have to figure something out. You're gonna have to remix these outfits or something. That is not a thing. Oh man. So yes, yeah, that is so funny. Yes, Peter said, have I learned not to give an F? Absolutely. Like, I am very, very intentional with the F's that I give. Very, very intentional. Because I used to give F's out for everything and everyone, and not anymore. Not anymore. Not anymore. Um, uh, hmm. Ernest Rashia McCree. I'm not amazing at names. Would you recommend that someone who's still working full time go full speed ahead with Dave Ramsey Gazelle intensity? No, I recommend that you go to your minimum student loan payments and then take the extra that you would put and put it to the side, and maybe start a sinking fund, and then when we know we're out of this crisis, you can just dump that lump sum. And the reason for that is last month we thought this was going to be 3 weeks. We just got another 30 days added on. What happens if we get another 90 days added on? So, and I haven't looked at what Dave Ramsey's recommendations would be, but I feel like I have listened to his stuff enough to know that he would suggest going down to making your minimum payments and taking extra money to set aside and or cover those unexpected things that come up at a time like this, because we literally are on a stay at home order for 30 days. That is going to dramatically shift things, and you know, the amount of people who are unexpectedly laid off and just different things like that. So I think that you maintain minimums, but you go back into the conservative space of stockpiling, because what it makes me think of is how like people will get pregnant while they're on their debt snowball, or something will come up, and Dave is always like, hey, this has come up, so you stop the snowball, you pay your minimum, stop the snowball, and stockpile money. If you make it through this without any bumps and bruises, you take what you stockpile and you drop it onto the debt snowball. But yeah, you slow down the gazelle intensity. Um, let's see. Crystal Merriweather said, is Billions on Netflix? No, it's on Showtime. Needing less, that is so true about grief showing up in your body. Yeah. Jeanette Toy said, you're speaking about me. I'm walking around with 30 pounds no matter how I clean, I eat, and exercise. Grief is no joke, but I'm working on it. Yeah. I'm telling you, when you say goodbye to that job, person, dog, I don't know what you need to grieve, but when you actually say goodbye, it's going to change everything. Yes, Dorinda Nicole, the training is still happening. She said, I definitely prefer in person, but would be good during this time. Yes. I won't do speaker training on Zoom because I want to train you to be a speaker who speaks in person. And so that part is really important. The Life of Co said, maybe try Rent the Runway so you could save money. True. But I don't know. Have you guys, I don't know why I just whined like that, but So you know how Carrie Bradshaw just had a closet full of like cute clothes? Like I just want to have like a closet full of cute clothes. Like I don't want to rent them because then I have to give them back. I might need to do some work on that. Dorinda Nicole said, "Go mama, that's how I feel. Major stuff. I wait a long time, like a year or so before I rewear." Yeah, love that. Just me. Thank God your mom is still around to give her opinion. Oh yes, I do not take that for granted in the slightest. Like I told her, I said, Mom, you wait till I get my paper all the way together. I'm just gonna send you money and then you can just, you know, decorate and style my whole life. Like she's really, really amazing at stuff like this. Like she's amazing at like styling clothes, but she's also amazing at styling homes. Only reason I haven't had her style here is just because I wasn't really spending money on my home like that. So yeah. Yeah, my mom is amazing. The Life of Co. Oh, I didn't realize that Dave is recommending that you continue if you didn't lose your job. I would go back and see if he's adjusting given the new information that's coming out, because it doesn't really sound like him to say that in a crisis that you remain gazelle intense. I don't know because I haven't seen it, but I wonder if it's because he is trying to temper the overreaction and the panic that people are in. And in him saying, okay, listen, yes, this is happening, but for most of us, it is not a state of crisis. So don't stop doing what you've been doing because most of us are not in a crisis. And possibly, I don't know, I haven't seen it. So, but yeah. Yes. Okay. All right. So we have about 12 minutes left. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up now. Or we have 12 minutes to the top of the hour. I have therapy at 1. So I'm going to wrap things up and I'm going to talk to you all at another time. I appreciate you showing up. I appreciate you asking questions. I appreciate your love, your concern, and your care for me. Know that I love you. Know that I appreciate you. Know that I am having you in my thoughts and I'm thinking well, amazing, wonderful thoughts for you, that as we all get through this very interesting time, that we will come out on the other side much better versions of ourselves. So thank you so much, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Bye.